that would go back 25 years ago. When I
Yeah.
first started online, I was working as a contract secretary. I'm a legal secretary, but was all self-taught. Like I've always been techie. I was working as a secretary on WordPerfect 5.1, all the shortcut keys. I still use shortcut keys, which is hilarious. But right back then, I remember working in the office and I fucking hated it. It just did my head in. I'm super fast. So I would just finish my work super early, have nothing to do. But anyway, I got this wonderful job. It was back in the dot-com boom for the very first online shopping mall. It was called Jumbo Mall. And it grew from like 4 employees to 12, 15, 20, 40. It was just like it exploded. And I was the contract secretary for the CEO. I could see the company was just failing, even at a young age then. But what I really loved about it is that I went and sat with the graphic designers, with the web designers, and watched them work. And I always wanted to go to graphic design school or do something like that. But I was always like too scared to do it. My mum was a secretary. That's kind of what was safe. I remember going back in 2000. And I remember going to this rebirthing weekend back then when it wasn't really that done. We were doing all the things. And I left that and said, I am not going back to the office again. I'm not going back. I cannot go back. I'm going to die. Seriously, it's like squashing me. And my ex-husband, I was like, okay, what are you going to do? I'll teach myself web design. So I took all of the stuff. I had Photoshop 4 at that point, taught myself web design, and that was the start of everything. So as you know, the online world moves at a super fast pace, and I have just been following the threads ever since. And so I only really stopped designing last year. I had always been designing, but I love teaching more. When I saw a lot of people, a lot of my clients go, I need a website, I need branding, and they're paying me 7, 8, 10 grand for stuff that they don't know how to market, I was like, I can't ethically do this anymore. I need to coach. And so I took all that 25 years of building platforms, of understanding the whole tech industry, of watching social media grow, of understanding, and put it this way, I was also a singer in between all of this, working on stage, typical me, Jen. So the whole working with brands and working on how to be magnetic and being on stage in front of people just put me in a perfect situation for what I'm doing right now. You can't make it up. It's amazing. So that's where I've come from, and that's how I got into this. And so it was really just been an evolution for that long.
Your natural evolution.
Natural evolution, yeah.
I love that. What a really beautiful introduction to what you do. I just want to say, because we've started, we're just going to roll with it. I just want to say to our listeners that this is Karla Maree, and Karla brings a really powerful lens to the way that we build and scale and feel in our businesses. And hearing that piece around, I ethically can't just build the website knowing that you don't know how to actually market. You don't know how to create your offer. You don't know, essentially what you're doing. So why waste $10,000 at this point on a website when you actually need all of this foundation first? So Karla, and you can correct me if I get this a little wrong, but you are a feminine business mentor and a go-to in our industry for mastering human design and astrology aligned strategy for women who are really building that sustainable and embodied scale. And I think I've heard you say, or maybe I saw it on your website, from the work that sets you on fire. I just really want to say that I purchased, so I came into Karla's world. I think I might have actually started with, you've got a content program, I think.
I did, yeah. I do, yeah.
I started there. And then I got the blueprint. But the reason I really wanted to have you on here is because my people love conversations that hold both frequency and strategy. And you just blend that so beautifully. Now, when we were chatting the other week, oh, and actually, I just want to mention that the 7-figure blueprint is just one of the most fucking amazing things. I have this real ick to a lot of AI things at the
Yeah.
moment, but that is something that I use and have done in my business for 12 months.
Yeah.
It actually inspired a pivot to the way that I started you probably heard that a lot, yeah?
Yes, so many times, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, thank you." I did,
Because
yeah.
it just confirmed what I already knew and hadn't put into place. And so then I went and I did the deeper work on the pivot and did the deeper work on it. But I just remember reading it and thinking, holy shit, like this just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And I'd already dived into my human design for a few years, but from this lens, the way that you've programmed it, the way like all the knowledge that you've put into it is so amazing.
Yeah.
So we actually started chatting in the DMs recently because I reached out to Karla because I really wanted to gift my masterminders the 7-figure business blueprint bot, and they are absolutely loving it. Really, really loving it. You've done such an amazing job.
It's one of those things that I put into motion. I think you came in at the 6-figure business blueprint.
Must have.
That's
Yes, because I
it.
came before it was an AI.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was an inspired idea. Like, I've always been on the forefront of technology just from what you've said. And when AI came out, I was like, oh, wonder what it can do. My whole human design is literally wanting to fix things for people. I am the fixer. I want to make things easy for people and effortless. And it's like, how can I make this the easiest way of doing it? A lot of people get human design readings, but don't know how to apply it to their life, especially to their business. Me knowing myself when I first got my human design reading back in 2019, I've been in astrology for 25 years. That made sense to me. I knew my astrology very deeply, but when human design came, it was another layer. Understanding my sacral, understanding how I was designed in a way, like it is. And I always thought, how do I apply this? And I could see it in other people. I couldn't see it in myself. But when other people were asking me, I'm like, oh, okay. And I would sit there and I would do analysis and I would go through their charts and I'm like, this is way too much work for me. And when ChatGPT came out, I was like, let's see if we can make this easy. And so I started playing with it to see what it could do. And when I could see what it could do, I was like, holy moly, this is going to change everything. But back then, AI was not embraced by the spiritual community. People were very wary of it. And so I'm actually really proud of myself that I actually put myself out there with it, because I was like, no, this is going to help so many people. Like, knowing what I did, I went down the rabbit hole for 2 weeks to perfect this mega prompt. And I gave it to a heap of people, a heap of my clients, and they were like, what is this sorcery? And all of a sudden, people were starting to see themselves so clearly, because, you know, how as coaches, we can see other people, but we can't see ourselves as well.
Yeah.
We're too close to ourselves. So as soon as people started seeing this, they were like, holy shit. And I was like, okay, I'm onto something. And then was in the process of shifting my whole business model at that point from high ticket to lower ticket based on my value system as well. And it all just kind of coincided at the perfect time. And yeah, followed my sacral on this one. And so ever since then, I just followed my sacral. And I've built $1 million business in 13 months following my sacral.
Yeah, I was going to say that your growth has been fast. Like, really, it's been amazing. It's been fast. How did you handle that as an entrepreneur? That really fast.
I don't think it was fast. I think it was time.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
I've been in this industry for 25 years.
Yeah.
I know the back ends of things. I've worked with very high level people. I knew exactly what to do and how to hold it. All I had to do was get out of my own way. Like, strategically, knew exactly what to do. Everything was there. Really what it was my personal life and my situation. And when I left my ex, and look, there's no shade on my ex here. It's just when people are together, it creates toxic environments and things. And I'd been with him for 27 years. And it was one of those things where I wasn't being myself in that relationship. And when I left and I had no other support, and I was like, so what am I going to do now? Is it I'm going to back myself finally? With nobody tearing you down on, it's like, oh, what you're doing is just this online thing. And I always had that in my head as well, in my ear. And so all I had was myself to rely on. I went, okay, all the experience, everything that I have, I've been building businesses for years. Now's my time to do this. And I actually just worked a lot on my visibility fears. That's all it really was visibility fears and edges. So a lot of this was strategic. But I've done this for so many other people. But really for myself, it was like, all right, it's now or never. And what are you going to do internally to make that shift now? And so I flipped the switch internally in order to make that happen. Because it literally was, okay, either you just keep working for people and doing high ticket, flogging yourself, or this was your dream for a really long time. You never had time to do it because you were raising babies and you were looking after everybody else except for yourself. So are you going to do it now? And so I did take a little bit of a pay dive, a revenue dive, setting it up. But it was the best thing that I ever did. So, you know, how you have to slingshot to go forward. You have to go backwards to go forwards.
I love that you clarified that as well and corrected my words there too, because when we say, you know, we hit that $1 million in 13 months in this industry, that can sound really fast, but listening to that, no, it's 25 years in the making.
Yeah.
So it's your time. And I love that you've identified, because this is the topic of conversation that keeps coming up in my world at the moment, that it was essentially a you thing. It was your edges. You had all the strategy. You knew all of the pieces. You had mastered those things, and you were well and truly qualified enough to build a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
You just had to then identify your own internal edge.
Gorgeous. Sort of to hold it. And look, I wasn't healed. There was no nervous system healing, or there was no, oh, I'm healed now, so that means I can make money. It wasn't that. It was like, it was just a readiness to do it.
Yeah.
And I just went, I'm just going to jump in and meet whatever comes up on the way to it. And yeah, there was crunchy edges every couple of months and every income bracket that I jumped and every revenue, everything like that. It's just so interesting watching the journey of how your internal world just gets used to so much change so quickly if you allow it to.
Yes.
If you allow it to, you could very easily sabotage it. By go, oh no, it's too hard. I'm too tired. I can't do this. I can't do that. But I've just got this brain where it's just like, no, what's your goal? What do you want to do here? What's your mission? And why are you doing this? And okay, allow yourself to rest for a week to integrate. That's fine. But don't stop.
Your mission, you said something when we were chatting over on your podcast last week about just that moment where you were like, I just never want, it was around financial survival essentially. And it was like, I never want another woman to have to feel like this. And that's such a big drive in your mission, isn't it? Helping people to really create that abundance for themselves so they don't have to have that financial survival.
I wish people through my ads could actually see that. They probably just see me as some other low ticket salesperson, which is fine. When I was moving this week, so I've just moved into this place, upgraded completely. And I gave away a couple of pieces of furniture in my place. So I was just like, oh, look, I don't need to. I was like, I'll just give it away. This one person came with 2 little girls in a little car, and she was like, thank you so much for this. I was locked out of my family home. My husband locked me out. I have no furniture. I have no food. And I know this, I don't want any woman to go through this. I went, what do you need? What can I give you? What can I give you? And it hit me so deep in my heart that we have coaches out there, and okay, there's coach for everybody, charging $2,000 for 90 minutes. I will never be that coach, ever. Only because there is a heap of women out there with so much talent or need to be sovereign financially so they don't have to go through something like this, that they can learn how to make money by learning skills like this. Let's just take away all the human design, everything. This is just my lens, but of learning to understand people. And I was lucky. I was also not treated very well after the marriage, and I was nearly getting a DVO and all of this stuff. So I went through the thought of like, what if he takes all my money? What if he takes all the money? What if he takes this? I wasn't left with very much for a 27-year marriage of property ownership and everything. So I wasn't in the most horrible position, but there's women that are going through this or can't leave because they need financial independence and they can't make choices and there is no freedom for them. And freedom is my number one value.
Yeah.
And money, whether we like it or not, is our key to freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple. And this is the reason why I release a 7-figure business blueprint for its price. That thing is worth, I don't know how much more than what it is, but I wanted it accessible for everybody to buy. And so that they can learn how to grow a business.
Yeah. I saw the other day, it was a marketing AI. And in terms of the person who developed it, similar level of experience, 25 years in marketing or whatever, it's very similar. And it was thousands of dollars. It was like $300 for the first 30 days and then a couple of $1,000s to purchase it beyond that 30 days. Actually, in my head, I thought this is like so comparable in terms of how experience and knowledge and the fact that it's not just built on ChatGPT in the sense it goes back to your API, like it's really deeply and really well programmed.
Yeah.
And I actually thought about your blueprint from that. And then I remembered what you were saying about how you just wanted everyone to be able to make money. You just wanted women to have freedom and discernment over how they make money. And as you were saying that, I know you said take the human design and things out of it, but someone in a challenging situation who maybe didn't think they even could have a business, all they need to do is look at their human design to figure out how they can monetize something.
Exactly.
Like,
absolutely. And I think this is the reason why I'm marketing the 7-figure the way that I'm marketing it. Because I know I have a client at the moment who had no idea what human design was at the beginning. And obviously I'm very experienced in messaging. So understanding the problem aware that wouldn't necessarily know human design, but want to align their business to their own energy and their own brilliance. Everyone understands that. And introducing, hey, this is the lens that we're going to do it through. So, yeah, I've had a lot of people come into my world and go, thank you for introducing me to human design. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, isn't it fucking amazing? Like, it's so great. Yeah.
How many people has the bot? Does it have a name? Like, I name mine, I name my custom bots names.
I've got so many people in authority, my membership going, I called mine this and I called mine that. And I didn't want to call it a name. I was just like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm just calling it what it is. And you can name it whatever you want to.
How many people has it helped now?
Exact numbers. Here we go. 4,996 people for the GPT. And then there was about 3,500 for the 6-figure business blueprint.
That is phenomenal impact. Knowing what that GPT does and what people can align themselves with and move forward into. Just knowing how deeply it's impacted me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just in this moment of like, Wow.
Yeah, it's like, wow. And I've got a goal of 10,000 people. After that, obviously, I'll reach 10,000 and go, okay, 20 now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. We're conquering the world with the seven-figure blueprint, but
and as AI continues to evolve very quickly, I'm right there with it. So what happened in April, I noticed a lot of people copying the prompt, a lot of human design people copying the idea, and started releasing mega prompts and all of that stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is competition. It's normal, but I've got to always be on that front foot if I want to be that. For me, it's not necessarily just being the industry leader. It is a matter of like anyone is in this online world and is in like more low ticket, this kind of thing. There is a bit of, hey, you need to stay relevant. Otherwise, your offer is very visible. And if there are better offers out there, your offer will be ignored. So it is a matter of survival of your business to keep evolving very quickly. So lesser if you're coaching or if you're kind of doing organic stuff and everything like that. Because AI is coming out with so much now, people are looking for things to make it easier and easier.
I also was really curious. I'm going to throw in another little strand for you to just answer as you go.
Sure.
I'm really curious about how you do everything in Notion. Not as in like how you do, but I mean, I've not purchased things before where Notion was like the core holder of it. And I know that your prompts and things, I think we first went into Notion, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what my ethos of my business is? Make everything simple.
Keep it simple.
How simple
I can see
can
that
you
pattern.
make things? How simple can you make things? I made
I love that.
6 figures with a Notion document that housed the prompt.
Really?
Easy. I've often said this for many years. You can sell off a Google Doc if your messaging is great.
I completely
You can do it.
agree.
I've said this for years and years and years. You don't need a fancy website when you first start. You can use Instagram as a free platform. Use that as your sales page in your website. You can use that very strategically. Take people somewhere off the platform into your email list. Give them something. Engage with them. Sell to them. Instead of saying sell to them, solve their problems.
Yeah.
That's it. Just make it simple.
Make it simple.
This is the reason, like when somebody sees my funnel worker when I'm doing any client stuff, I went, this didn't happen like this. This has just grown. When I first started, I went, what's the quickest way to get this out? And what can I do to not lose people off? If somebody comes in and gets the 6-figure business blueprint, what happens after that so that I can engage them?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Then I added upsells. Then I added different things, but I wanted to get it out before the sacral stopped responding to it.
Yes. So tell me more about when people started copying the prompt in May and then the pivot that you had to make to stay ahead of everything.
Okay, typical money, Jen. I went to Japan and I noticed my ads kind of starting to decline a little bit in performance. And I was just like, I had this deep intuitive feeling. It's like, you need to do the GPT because I started building it in February. So I was always on the front foot with it. I was like, I can see this happening. I can see. So I started building the GPT in Feb. I was doing the code because I'm a web designer. I'm pretty clued up with everything. And when I came back from Japan, I actually had met my girl Brooke. I just did the podcast with her about everything. And she shares a very similar brain to me. It's like, if you don't know how to do it, we'll figure it out kind of thing. And that's what I've been doing for my whole career. And that's how I learn. Anyway, I said, Brooke, it's time. We need to get this out now. Now. When you know, you have to respond.
You have to go. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so what I did is I used my 7-figure business blueprint to strategize its launch. I gave it all my ideas. I'm like, can you find holes in it? Like everything. What about this? What about this? What about this? In 2 hours, I came out with a launch for it, how to engage my list, how to get testimonials, how to do everything. So it was like a 3-week rollout of it, just to make sure all the bugs were. But at this point as well, I had just been disabled from Facebook ads.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yes, my personal account had been blocked. And so I had
Oh.
ads going in my ad account without me being able to access it. And it was this whole rigmarole I had to use my partner's Facebook to access my own ads account. It was crazy.
It's so hard to get back in when you're locked out of Facebook ads, isn't it? Or just Facebook
I
in
was
general.
locked out of my personal Facebook.
I was locked out of my personal Facebook a couple of months ago for 2 weeks, but luckily I have an ads manager who she was like, don't worry, no one's like, they didn't get into that piece, but it took 2 weeks for them to even want to actually verify my ID to be able to get me back into my account because the hackers changed the password.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but they disabled me for some kind of reason. I have no idea. Still don't know any idea.
Oh, yeah, I was hacked. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you were hacked. I was like, there was an infringement of some sort. I don't know what it was. Maybe somebody reported me. I don't know. Anyway, so throughout this whole launch, I was like, I'm not Meta's bitch. I'm turning this around. So after there was like ads were declining. I got back from Japan. My whole Facebook was like, there was nothing, like all my groups were in there, everything. I went, all right, I'm launching this GPT. This is what I'm doing now. And so I used it to strategize. I sold it so I finished it within 3 days. Me and Brooke just like that. Because it was pretty much done. We just had to test it and make sure that it was all connecting and doing its thing. We were just sitting on it for a while. And I launched it to my list to all the people that had the 6-figure business blueprint for $11. Then everybody was just going fucking crazy for it. And you should have seen the amount of testimonials that flew in. Then that sold over 20 grand's worth. $11 US. So it's like crazy. And then obviously I put upsells onto that and everything. Obviously you don't just do one product, you do many.
Yeah.
And so I got that and made a drive for authority ear as well and used it as a whole marketing thing. Used it as a whole rebranding as well. So I had just had new photos done in April just before I went to Japan. So everything went into, what am I going to call it? This is my 7-figure year. I knew I was going to because it was inevitable. And I was calling it 7-figure business blueprint. So the 6-figure business blueprint and the whole rebrand, the feel of everything just went next level. I love bougie, but I'm still really like grounded as well with it. And the whole messaging changed. Everything changed with that. And that month, 3 weeks of being disabled from ads, of not being able to do ads, I went from 38, which was it was 45 or something like that, to 85 in May. And that was my quantum jump from the 7-figure business blueprint into my next level income bracket. I haven't gone down except for September. September was a shit month personally, but yeah.
Wow, it really was time.
It was crazy. And the response from it, I just knew. And so this is what I'm saying. It's like I have been working with my sacral ever since. If my sacral says nothing, I do nothing.
Yeah.
I will do just like the normal, I'll just do the normal ads, the normal kind of thing, but I won't launch anything that I don't feel aligned with. I won't even do content sometimes if I'm forcing it.
Oh, I love that. Can you tell our sacral listeners, I know that it's very different, very individualized, but how do you know when your sacral is telling you to go for it? Or to not?
I think I always knew, but I used to have people around me saying that I was hasty or, oh no, you just pivot too quickly. And I just thought it was wrong. But I always just knew. And it's a very nuanced feeling in my body. I don't hear the or the what they say in human. I don't hear that. I just know it.
You know it.
In my body, it just feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, I will feel it in my body. Also, it's a very somatic feeling. And I feel that to learn how to work with the sacral, you have to stop being here and start being here. Now, I'm the biggest overthinker in the world, okay? I have a defined ajna as well, completely open crown and defined ajna. I can overthink and think about all the little things and everything. Like, I will see it's crazy. But over the last couple of years since the divorce, I have been forced to do a lot more somatic work because of my nervous system and anxiety, and otherwise I wouldn't be able to function. So I feel that coming into my body has helped me feel that stronger, because the mind can tell you, oh no, that's not a smart idea. Don't offer it for $11. It's worth so much more. Don't offer it for $37. You could make so much more money from this. But it doesn't feel right to do that. And that is not imposter syndrome. I'm quite happy being rich. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm quite happy. But it's like
it's values driven.
It's a value system more than anything.
Yep. Freedom is your biggest value, and that's infiltrating the way that you are creating freedom for other people by having these accessible products that can literally change their lives and make them rich too.
Exactly. It's like it doesn't have to cost that much, because there's so many people in this middle part of their business where they're making money but not enough money to go and spend all this money on a high-end coach to get them to the next level. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we do have to balance our own worth, of course. You know, my high ticket, I didn't want to charge. I charge well, but I didn't want to charge any more for it. I just didn't. And so I was like, how else am I going to make money then? How am I going to reach my level of lifestyle, but still help so many people and be really aligned with what lights me up is creation. Like, figure out, let's fix things. And like client magnet content is another one where it's next level content system and messaging, but it's all done really quickly. And it's like, this is all you need to know. You don't have to kind of go into just understand this, go create content. And
then is that where Low Ticket Love Affair was birthed as well from this same value system? I had a friend do that program and she just raved about it.
It's deep. It's my body of work. So Low Ticket Love Affair came from when I first started last year. I was doing group program, and this is like very Manny Jen, and you'll get this, Jess, that I built all of my programs, all of my education like courses through my programs. So I had this vision for a really long time. It's like, okay, I'm going to do courses, but if I have to sit down and create a course, I'm going to go crazy. And I did go a little bit crazy at the end of Low Ticket Love Affair, actually. I've got to say, I'm like, I've got to get this out. The ads
I felt
module.
like that a little bit at the end of my last one. It was like, okay, all right. Like, you still love what you're creating, because I did similar with my visibility rebirth program. I did similar. It's the body of work. It's the internal experience that I've seen so many entrepreneurs go through. Survival identities, into the rebirth, into the visibility piece, into navigating ascension symptoms. You know, it's really like the whole rebuilding the internal identity to hold the identity of the successful entrepreneur. But by the end of it, I was like, okay, come on. Like, come on.
This to be over. I want to go into the next thing. And you got to finish what we start. It was kind of like, I told people it's going to be finished at this point. I've got to do it. And by the way, that's very ADHD too, because if I don't have a deadline, I will float away. So I give myself deadlines. All of my programs, Client Magnet Content, was birthed from Ignite Your Income last year. And I created it for them and responded to them because what they were asking for me. And so that was created for them. And then I up-leveled that program into Ascend, and I did that about 4 rounds. And then I realized it's too much in this 1 3-month. It's too much to absorb, and I want people to get faster results. So how am I going to do that? I created Low Ticket Love Affair, as, okay, so you can take client magnet content, learn messaging, put that into practice, take sales page in an hour, create an offer, start selling it. All right, great. So there's your messaging, there's your offer positioning, and your sales pages sorted. You can start selling now. Low Ticket Love Affair then takes that and goes, okay, how are we going to create an ecosystem that is going to use low ticket as a trust gap? So it's not necessarily a full low ticket funnel. By the time that somebody gets to the end of that checkout in that program, like depending on what energy type, what your profiles are, whatever, you need to go into your human design and go, what happens after the checkout that's aligned to you? So we're kind of using the low ticket as a trust gap, but it could turn into a high ticket model on the back end. It could turn into a hybrid. It could be a full low ticket model like I've got. It really depends on your own energy. But I teach it in a way of like, this is how you do it, but please put your own lens over the top and make sure that you and your body, and you trust yourself and you go, okay, this is what I want to offer here. Literally what I'm teaching is how to build an ecosystem. How
and
to
most people don't even know what that means.
No, how to build, how to piece everything together and how to sell it. So it's really about taking your magic, bottling your magic, putting it into an ecosystem and selling it. And I called it Low Ticket Love Affair because my first client that started with me at the beginning of this year in January, we went, let's call it Low Ticket Love Affair. And so that's where that came from. And then my branding just comes out naturally. I was like, oh, that photo looks nice for that name. And then I'm going to put a little kiss there. And then I've got this whole brand. That's why I can't really get people to do my copy for me or do my branding, because it's so inherent in me that I would just not be happy with somebody. It's like, no, that's not what I'm here for.
I had a conversation this morning with a panel of amazing ladies in online businesses, and we were chatting about 2026 predictions in the online marketing space. And I would really love to hear from you, Karla. Like, what do you see that has stopped working in 2025 that maybe some people are still kind of clutching onto for dear life? Like, what has stopped working? And what do you see in your world with your people as being something to really focus on, or a prediction or a big, bold statement for what you want, for what you see, or what you wish people would focus on in 2026?
I've got a few things. Okay. Stop doing PDFs. Just don't. No more PDFs, please. People don't. That's been happening for a long time. Okay. People need interactive learning. People need high value, because we are now at the point of the online business coaching world where people are burned and tired, and they have experiences, not 2017 when it's like, oh, I'll join that program for this much money without knowing that person. That doesn't happen anymore. People are way more discerning now, and they need to feel you out. This is the reason why I've got Low Ticket Love Affair, is because the low ticket helps people feel you out as a brand before they can move deeper into your world. So it's not just necessarily making a buck. It's about nurturing them, showing them your magic at a lower, that's why I call it a trust gap, because it's filling a trust gap, even if you are a high ticket coach. So number one is, don't do PDFs for that, because people won't fill them in and they'll just go, great, that's lovely. You need to give high value at a lower price point, but not to the point where you are doing the work. It has to be scalable. Okay, so you got to be smart. Now, this is where AI comes in. GPTs are going to phase out. So I'm already on the front foot with that. People will want to learn courses, and everything will be through AI, not videos and things like that. Okay, so there's going to be a big revolution happening in the online world with that. Just watch it. It will happen in the next few months. So there's that. On the other side of that, people are going to want to have more human connection. People go one way and then it kind of comes back and springboards back. At the moment, we're seeing AI avatars. We're seeing AI copy. We're seeing AI this with no heart from the people themselves. And see, I sell AI, but I'm always like, hey, just remember it's you that's here that people are connecting to. I'm a Libran. It's like I have a Libran and Mercury, and it's just one of those things where building relationships is one of the most important things that you can do. Building relationship through your words, building relationship through DMs. I always voice note people back.
Me too.
Always.
Me too.
And people go, thank you. I really appreciate that voice note. And I'm like, do people not do this?
Apparently they don't. I had a conversation with someone who she ended up coming into my mastermind a couple of weeks ago, but she came in through a free live launch. No, it was a low ticket live launch. And she said to me when we were having our conversation, the first email that I said, reply back and tell me about you.
Yes.
And she did. And then not only did I reply, but I went and sent her a DM and I voice messaged her on Instagram.
Yeah.
And she was like, no one has done that
Yep.
to me before. And I was mind blown. And, you know, I think we chatted last week. I've got the channel of intimacy. And so this relationship to me, it's like, isn't that just how we do business? And then I recorded a podcast episode the other week. I think it's just come out this week actually. There was like this exact conversation.
Yeah.
When did human first actually become a strategy? It's sad and it's scary. And then I asked my assistant, my OBM today, when I was talking to her on the podcast, I said to her, what do you see contributed from the back end or from your lens adaptation for our 100% retainer for our high ticket mastermind? And she was like, it's the way that you treat your people. It's the connection with them. It's the understanding what their favorite food is and then making sure that's in the birthday hamper. It's like,
oh, you do a birthday hamper. That is so beautiful.
I do welcome gift. I just gave them a Christmas. I give them gifts. Like it's just.
You're one of the beautiful
I don't
ones.
know. It's a loving on them. And it's like, oh, I haven't seen you in the group for a week or so. Are you okay?
Yes.
Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, but to me, it's just like little things. It's not even little, but can I do a payment plan like this instead of your typical one? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
do you think that's a Manny Jen thing that we're really flexible like that?
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, but business ebbs and flows.
It does.
And if the times that I had to, like, I've been in really high ticket mentorships for a couple of years. And the one or two times that I've had to say, hey, can I do this next month? Like, or it's going to be a week late. Not often, but it's happened. I mean, they shamed me about it. Or they may, then if they did that, like, what kind of relationship would we have? And so for people to come and say things like, can I actually pay half now and half in 6 months? Absolutely, let's do that. Like, why shame people or make them feel unwanted just because they don't want to pay your strict payment plan or they don't want to I
have so much to say on this.
Person.
I have so much to say on this. If you want me to start ranting, oh my God.
I'm ranting now through business ebbs and flows.
It does.
And like you said, your September wasn't as great. It was a personally hard month. But then you've had, $85,000 months on the back flip of that. But there's ebbs and flows.
I went from 130 to 50 grand the next month because I was wiped out emotionally. I couldn't do anything. And then I went back to 85 and then I went back up to 100 and something. This is what I'm saying, ebbs and flows. And when we're building relationships with people, I didn't go back to my first ads mentor because she was kind of like that. It was like very strict on the, oh no, I only answer between these times and this time and this time. Look, I get boundaries. I really do. I also feel.
But if you're in launch, they need to answer.
Hey?
I said, if you're launching, they need to be on it.
Especially ads, which is why.
If you're launching ads, they need to be on it. Yeah.
And especially green as well. And she was expensive because it was in US. And it was right at the beginning of my journey. And you know what? If she bent over backwards for me, I would have stayed with her. so much. But she wasn't, and she was, I don't know. And what was really interesting is that also, you're probably like this as well, she raised the price of $1,000 for me for the next month. And then I was like, oh, okay. I've still got a client that started on my lower rate, and I'm keeping her on my lower rate.
Our grandfather clients too.
That's it. I will not raise her rate. I don't
Yeah.
care. I've got overflow now. It's fine. I've got clients that I will not raise my current high ticket rate. I'm not that expensive. People are like, oh, I don't know. That's relative, obviously. But I know that it's expensive for some people, but I get that. The reason why I don't take that many one-on-one clients is because I want them to do the courses first, which are accessible, get themselves to a place where they're making money. Then they can invest. I'm paying $10,000 every 3 months for my current coach, and I will continue to because she bends over backwards for me. She's not always there, but she will do so much for me. Like, she's amazing when I need her. And so when coming back to the building relationships, this is not just about marketing and selling something, because that's just the beginning of a journey. I've always said for many years, your brand doesn't stop at the transaction. It continues, and people will get a flavor from you after that transaction. And if you continue the customer journey, if you continue like Jess, it's so beautiful. You know what? I'm too flighty. I always forget to get presents and everything, but I would love to do that.
I get reminded. I get that. And sometimes they get them a couple of days late because I'm like, the money gen brain. I'm sure they know it's coming. But the reminders have done their job. They've come through. And then I'm like, oh, it's their birthday. I better organize that.
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah. So, no, that's beautiful. I freaking love that. And that's where your brand shines. And that's why you have that 100% retention rate, which is crazy. Sometimes my ads won't be doing as well, but my back end funnel and everything picks up for the Slack, because it's not just the funnel, like, oh, here's a set of emails. Like, I've crafted it in a way that's like, I get people to reply back to me so that I can talk to them.
Yes, so you can be human with them.
How on earth are you supposed to understand your people and make things for them if you don't talk to them?
Yeah.
It's like when people go, I don't know what to say. It's like, are you talking to your people? No. It's like, go have conversations.
Yeah.
No agenda. Just go have conversations. Find out what they need, what they want, what they desire in their words.
Yes, in their words.
A lot of people think that that's manipulation, but it's not. What you're doing is trying to solve a problem for them, and the only way that they will pick that up is in the words that they understand, not in your words. So that's all it really is. It's like, you're there to help. Yeah.
I completely agree. So is there anything else that you see to be focusing on moving forward?
Yeah, definitely building more relationships in the bloom of AI, because I can see a lot more people getting more and more disconnected, and we need to keep the connection going, especially in the heart-centered world. We can still use technology. Oh yeah, go hard on using technology, but don't lose the heart.
Yeah, I love putting it that way. That was something every one of us agreed on our panel this morning. It was like the most common theme was, actually, I don't want to spoil it for the episode, but it is a common theme. The relationships, the human connection.
But see,
focus.
this is always a theme. What people don't realize is they go trends in marketing. I'm like, do you realize there are humans on the other side of that screen? Humans aren't a trend. Connection isn't a trend. Building relationships isn't a trend. It's a core need. Heart is not a trend. Helping people is not a fucking trend. So, okay, we can go and, we've seen the trends of dancing on reels and lip syncing and B-rolls and all of the things. Yeah, okay, they're tactics. Follow the tactics if you wish, if they align to you. But the core of marketing is understanding your people so deeply and building relationships with them. That's it. It's not a fucking
And then
trend.
coming at it
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I believe add on the lens of coming at it from the energy and intention of service
Service.
on top of understanding them, even if they do genuinely care about their people. But as soon as everything that you do comes from that energy of how can I serve? How can I,
Yeah.
when it's coming from that behind everything,
Yeah.
the switch that I see when people really do that very, very intentionally with everything that they're putting out, and then couple that frequency with that deep understanding of their person and how
Yeah.
to talk to their person and what their person needs and how you can then help them.
The thing is that I see with a lot of faceless marketing is people go, oh, I don't want to put my face on in the internet and everything. I'm like, okay, do you know that making money, like, okay, you're a business, but do you realize that the offer is not about you? It's about the person. And the
Yeah.
person that wants to buy it needs to know who it's buying from, whether they can
Yeah.
trust them. People usually see and align through visual. I call it it's brand identity, but it's visual messaging. We make a lot of our decisions based on the visual. So I see the decline of faceless marketing, but I see the increase of AI avatars because it's getting better
Yeah.
and better. I feel that if you're going to be using AI as a talking head and you're in the heart-centered world, I feel that that's out of integrity.
I just got my here right at the top of my diaphragm, just went when you said that. Oh,
Because how are you supposed to
I
trust
agree.
the voice, the resonance, the magnetism of that person? Where that is good for using AI is if you want to do B-roll or just like you haven't had chance to do a photo shoot or something like that. Yeah, we put our makeup on, we put filters on anyway, all that. So that's really cool to do like fill-in content, but anything that people need to connect with you through, like the voice, the visual, that kind of stuff, definitely do that live. This is just in this industry. I see a lot of AI avatars teaching things on YouTube, and I'm like, I don't care. I just want to know the information. That's fine, but it's more the heart-centered world that I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Is that what you meant when you said earlier that courses would be more AI delivered? Is that what you
No,
meant? I didn't.
courses, people will, okay, so, we've got the login to Kajabi, module
Mhm.
1, module 2, module
Yeah.
3. There's going to be an increase of people accessing, say, an AI agent or WhatsApp or Slack or something like that, going, how do I do this? And then accessing through course module
Yeah.
and knowledge base.
Yes, that makes a lot of
And
sense. You
and
could, yeah.
it's going to guide them on how to do things, not
Yeah.
just a GPT that is pulling
Yeah.
from general knowledge, but actually taking
Mhm.
it from the frameworks of that person and their
Yeah.
experience. So it's
Yeah.
really, really niched. That's why I'm saying the GPT is great, and I coded that with a lot of IP.
Mm.
However, it still does take from general knowledge base.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So say I will be doing this in the next few months and coding all of my courses into an AI agent
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
people can
That
access it more. Yeah.
Yeah. There was something that I thought about with my offer creation, my wild infusion offer process.
Mm,
And I was trying to figure out, and it was something, and I didn't have words for it, but it was
mm,
something along that, like, how can it? And I actually imagined a conversation. I was like, how can
yeah.
they just ask? I'm the same. I don't want it coming through a GPT though,
No, because
because I don't.
that's a general knowledge base,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
want it to follow my frameworks and my learnings and my process for that, as if they were doing the course, but without having to sit through a workbook.
That's
Like,
it. And that's why
yeah,
people are going, this is faster and
yeah,
faster. We have
that's
Pluto and
being, I can see
Aquarius
that.
that moved in earlier this year.
Mhm,
And all of a sudden, didn't you see it? It just went like this and
mhm.
exploded.
Yeah,
And now people are wanting information now. How do I do this now? Everything is speeding up, which is great.
mhm.
It's just up to us creators now. So nothing will replace the one-on-one mentorship because humans need human connection. But in the course world, that's where you're going to see a lot of it change with AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Just one question popped in for me as you were talking because visibility came back up, and I am very conscious of our listeners' time. So I want to ask you, I think you're going to need to hear this though, and then I've got a final question I need to
Sure.
ask. You mentioned earlier that your edges were around visibility. Now, just whatever you're open to share or talk about, but I just wanted to just ask and get a little bit curious. Because it is such a big thing for so many people, you're talking about just even showing up, just having their face, talking, being seen by their people.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit, or tell the ladies that are listening a little bit about what visibility edges look like? Because I think there's a big misconception that they are, one, the only ones who feel this way.
No.
Two, and that it only happens at a certain level. Now, I'm telling them every time it's like the whack-a-mole game, we get to a new level, and before you can complete and get into the next level, there's a challenge, right? Like there's something.
I still think it's like whack-a-mole because I'm like,
that's
didn't
what
I
it
actually deal with that one before?
Yeah, exactly. But it just comes out like a little bit faster. It feels like whack-a-mole to me too. But it happens at every level. I notice, particularly in that I've been in business in a few years kind of area, but we're not at the 85K or even quite the 50K month marks yet. People are thinking, I'm the only one who has these visibility issues. I'm the only one who has these problems. Can you tell us, at 25 years of experience, at the breaking edge of your quantum leap from 40K to 85 and then to 100 and averaging at 85, what does a visibility edge look like at that breaking point for you?
This is a really good question because I never thought that I had a visibility problem. I'm a singer. I've worked on stages for 25 years. I'm a fucking show off. I was really out there. And I was the first person in a nightclub that ran to the podium to go dance in a little short skirt and high heels. So it's like I've got a lot of Leo and Aries, and I was just full of life. So I never thought
we could have been friends.
I was one of the wild ones. And I've only just kind of like just chilled in the last couple of years, really. But I had a little chill part around the kids as well. But yeah, it's one of those things where I never thought that I had a visibility issue until I realized what the patterns were. I've been seen by lots of people, but I feel that in the online world, it has this weird feeling to it. It's like you don't know what people are saying about you because they're not in front of you. You don't know how people are responding to you. Do they like me? Do they not? Why am I not getting comments? Why am I not getting engagement? Did I say something wrong? Am I going to get cancelled? Am I going to get judged? Which wound? Which wound? My peers are going to judge me. There's so much that starts coming up. And I wasn't really too worried about the general public because I know that I can help people. I was more worried about my peers and what my peers would think because they have seen me for so long. Now, remember, I have a 5-2 profile. It's a double projected profile. I always thought it was my 2 line that was keeping me stuck because it's like the 5 comes out and the 2 goes in and it's just very inconsistent. But when I was going through my whole growth of getting ready for this, I was doing a lot of energetics, a lot of somatic work, a lot of understanding, because I was also started a new relationship pretty earlier on as well and started seeing a lot of my patterns in that relationship come up of codependence and overgiving. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I was doing a lot of work around. Then I was like, that's why I don't want to do group programs because I overgive and then I burn out. Oh, that's why I don't want to do a membership because of this, this, and this. And so as I was putting in boundaries with my ex-husband, no, whenever you talk to me like this, I will not answer. And it made me feel like vomiting inside because I was always the emotional savior of a relationship. But the more I did it, the stronger I was at not self-abandoning because I was in the prostitute archetype of give, give, give so people will like me and see that I'm good and see that I am worthy and I deserve this. And so I was in that for a really long time until I realized how deep that went. I was like, okay, well, that's stopping. And the more that I practiced with my personal life, it went into my business life. It just happens. Then with the visibility, I think that needed to clear up first because I was stopping myself from growth because I didn't want to burn out from overgiving. Okay. Then I worked out that problem like, okay, well, then I'll do more courses and everything so people can do their own thing and I can make money doing that. So that was the strategic thing of working with my energy. Then the next step was I was listening to this podcast about the 5 line. It was actually a 5-2, but it was on the 5 line. And somebody said in it, and you can listen to the same things but different ways. I've listened to so many 5 line stuff. I always just picked out the good stuff. I'm magnetic and I fix things. But I didn't realize how deeply the projection runs with the 5 line. And internally, intuitively, I knew that if I was to be visible, I was going to be demonized by people. I was demonized by my ex-husband. I've been demonized by I just realized through my whole thing, people only see what they want to see of me to fix their problems. They don't actually see me.
Yeah.
And so I chose, this is where I made the decision. I was like, that's my 5 line. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do I live and die by then? And what am I going to be okay to be demonized with? So what will I just stand for no matter what? And I'm going to stand very, very solidly with that. I'm not going to say yes to every little thing that people want to fix. It's like, so I stopped doing websites. I stopped doing branding because I could and I wanted to help them. And then resented afterwards.
Yes.
I went, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to live and die by. Yes, I'm going to be demonized. And I just accepted it.
Yeah.
And that was literally, and then EFT. A lot of EFT around it.
Yeah.
And just did
EFT.
it. And just did it. And EFT'd any time that I felt edgy with it.
Yeah.
And so what I would do, and the edges, what would feel like, because I have the 2 line, it would be very different to different profiles, is that whenever I felt too exposed and too raw or too vulnerable, I would go into my hermit cave and want to disappear. And so I had to be very careful to go, okay, is this a response to go into sabotage, into the negative energy of the 2 line, or is this to integrate? So I had to be very aware of what that 2 line energy was going to be. Sometimes I had to go in because it was just too raw. That was my September. I went through a very, very big healing month of vulnerability, of opening my heart. And that was really, really hard after the last 3 years. And I was open to a certain extent, but I still had that protection. And I'm so glad because it's only really starting to come out now, that energy of being so open-hearted and not being scared to share my heart with people and everything. And it's like, well, you can do what you want with that because I know who I am. You can project onto me. I've got my boundaries. I make it very clear in my expectations and what I give to you now. So if you come back at me with anything, I'm just going to be okay to go, okay, well, you feel this. This is what was said. This was what was agreed on. Yeah. Okay. And so I get a lot of people in my emails being mean.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Horrible. Spiritual people being horrible.
Well, no, we've identified why, but why?
Hey, that was the edge of it. No, this is the reason why I take all of this negative stuff and put it on my stories. Not to call out people to be a bitch, but to show that this is what happens in the shadows of online business and to go, this is how you can deal with that part of it because it's going to happen if you make yourself more visible. It's inevitable. Not everyone's going to love you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Because you'll find your people as well. And the people that love you. And the people that don't. And it doesn't have to mean anything. And that's been literally my 3 years of kind of like just meet the edge. Oh, okay, this feels crunchy. Go back into my little cave again, do some tapping, integrate, come back out again, So it's
Oh, I'm so glad I circled back to that question. That was powerful. Oh, so much power in that.
even just talking about it, I'm looking back at my journey going, this, oh this. I don't know who this is.
Butterfly as a moon. Ask to wrap things up.
Yeah.
I operate from what we call a fuck yes frequency. And that means different things to different people. And to me, and in the world of what I offer and what I do, it's that fuck yes, I can do this. Yes, I can be this. Yes, I can charge this. Yes, I can do these things. And embodying that energy so that you then are attracting clients who say, fuck yes, I want to work with her.
Yes.
And question I've asked everyone I've chatted to today is, what does your fuck yes frequency look like moving forward in 2026? What's a fuck yes frequency to you?
I've got a similar one. I call it the of course frequency. It's just like, of course I'm going to make $1 million. Of course I'm going to live in a place that I put on my vision board 3 years ago. By the way, everybody, I just moved here. Like literally just unpacked the last box.
This weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. Yeah. Of course I am going to impact thousands and thousands of people. So it's a similar feeling. There are times, and I'm going to be so super honest with you guys, that I'll go, I've done all of this. And I look at my accomplishments and go, yeah, but, and start making excuses. So I'm determined to continue to be in a frequency of the fuck yes, of course, knowing that I can achieve what I want to achieve in my life. And I know that sounds very masculine, achieve. But honestly, if we don't have goals, if we don't have something to look at and want to create, we are creative beings. We are here to create life and the life that we want. And so, of course, that's to achieve something, not for the sake of like, look, see, I've achieved this, but it's to go, I did that. And now what's next? This is really cool. And I just think that that's just really diving into the adventure of life. And so for me, it is about, fuck yes, I'm adventuring more. I'm going to see what I can do. And I'm just going to see what I can do. My next goal is to become a millionaire, like cash millionaire in the next, I'll say, see, this is so many, Jen, but in the next year. But like, if I said this last year in November that I was going to make $1 million revenue, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Oh, I love that. Adventure and to see what you can do. Oh.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just
no. Karla, where can people listening find you? And I know we've talked about offers, but how can they work with you?
Okay, so come find me on Instagram. I am Karla Maree. And the way to get into my world is obviously the 7-figure business blueprint. So that should be on the show notes. And
it will be. Absolutely.
Yeah, the 7-figure business blueprint's the way to come in. I work with a small amount of people only because I want to pay full attention to them and I can get scattered. Being a Money Gen, I've got a Mars and Gemini. So I don't like to work with a large stable of clients because I will get overwhelmed, and I really have integrity. Yeah, really have integrity to want to give the most to my people. I do have a VIP container coming in February for client magnet content holders and low ticket love affair holders. And yeah, 7-figure business blueprint, babes.
I love that. And definitely go and get that, because if you are asking ChatGPT human design questions, it's going to get it wrong.
It is.
It's just going to get it wrong. It's going to make shit up and it's going to get it wrong.
It does. It hallucinates.
Absolutely. It does. It hallucinates and it just isn't right. It'll give you like all the wrong information, or not all, but it will give you wrong information.
Yeah.
So if you are using ChatGPT for human design, business strategy, all of that in alignment, just get Karla's GPT instead?
Honestly, it's like a dinner out, and it's really coded especially for that. So it does work the best on a paid chat GPT because it plugs into API, but I do have workarounds for free as well. So yeah, and there is obviously more coming, and whoever are my customers, I'm very, very generous with. So the GPT 7-figure is just going to continue evolving this year as well. So yeah, app coming in, all the things.
Amazing. Oh, so exciting. Karla, thank you so much for gracing us with your beautiful energy.
Thank you,
I've loved this
Jess.
conversation.
So do I. Thank you so much for having me on. And so glad to have met you as well through this. Like, see, this is a magic. We've got to keep following our
Absolutely.
magic. Yeah.
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 100%. Thank you for tuning in to Resource with Jessica Reed. If today's episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with another soul-led entrepreneur who is also ready to rise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected, because when you are deeply resourced, you become unstoppable. Until next time, my friend, stay resourced, stay radiant, and trust in the magic that is you.